Hello again, boys and girls. We're going to be doing time today. I know Mrs. White and I talked this morning. Yesterday's assignment was a little bit tricky because it did both pounds and ounces, feet and inches, and yards and feet. It's kind of mixing back and forth between kind of weight and also distance. So we're hoping maybe today that this would be a little better because it's all in time. You notice over here on my time on this chart, hours and minutes, and then minutes to seconds. Really, that's the same conversion. Both of those are going to be multiply by 60 as our rule. It's my nice rainbow pen I got going on. So you'll kind of notice that. So again, if it was 1 hour or 1 minute, the conversion from hour to minute or minute to second is the same. It's going to be times 60. And then we kind of start with the math part. Right? So if 1 hour equals 60 minutes, then 3, you just do 3 times 60. Okay, and then when I set that up, 60 times 3, there's my 0, and then my 18. Okay, so if 1 hour is 60 minutes, then 3 hours is 180 minutes. And it kind of works the same way then with 5. So that's kind of our conversion. Whatever, and again, hours, and I didn't have time for the minutes there, or same thing for minutes to seconds. So we'll pretend this one is minutes and seconds, okay, because it's the same rule. 5 minutes equals 60 seconds. So again, in 5 minutes, let's say I say, okay, we're going to go out to recess in 5 minutes. Might be sitting there thinking, well, how many seconds is that? Whatever the minutes is, you just multiply it by 60. So if someone tells you we're going to do something in 5 minutes, that means it's going to take about 300 seconds. Okay? Or same thing with hours. 5 hours is 300 minutes. 10, usually a really easy one. Again, we just keep the number and then put the 0 on the end. And then I tried to give you one that didn't quite work out as nicely as yesterday, because again, we can solve this out. If we have 18 minutes, and we're just going to multiply that by 60. So whatever the hour is, or whatever the minutes, we're just going to multiply today by 60. So 0 times 8 is, so we'd have that whole row of zeros. And 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So again, 18 minutes is 1,080 seconds. Okay? Or 18 hours is 1,080 minutes. And then we kind of do something similar when we move over to days and hours. Okay? There are 24 hours in a day, if you don't count the daylight saving days. But in a typical day, okay? So the typical day, again, that's why there's like 12 a.m., 12 p.m. We go to 12 o'clock, flip the other 12 o'clock, 12 plus 12 makes 24. So in one day, there's 24 hours. So in 2 days, we just double that. So again, sort of our rule here is we multiply by 24. Okay, so 2 times 24 is 48. That's just doubling it. And then 7 days, I'm going to take my rule, which is multiply by 24, and I'm going to put the number of days underneath, which in this case is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 2 we carried is 16. So in 7 days, there are 168 hours. Okay? And then 9 days would just kind of be those two things combined. Or I can show you that over here. Let me switch color. So again, I'm going to take the number that's here, which is 9, that's days, and I'm going to multiply it by the rule that I use to switch from days to hours in that conversion. 9 times 4, 36. 9 times 2 is 18, plus the 3 we carried is 21. That's 216. Again, I know I talked about this yesterday. You can also see there's my 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 6 is 11. And 1 and 1 is 2. And the same way, 2 days plus 7 days equals 9 days. And I tried to pick just a completely different one, do a little double-digit multiplication with 24 times 21. Again, 4 times, start with just the 1. Remember, we do just that 1 first by both pieces. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. So 1 times 24 was 24. And then when I get to my second number, I put that 0 down as my placeholder. Then I do 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 2 is 4. And then I add my two parts together. There's 4, 10, and 5. Okay, so in 21 days, there would be 504 hours. All right, and then I'm going to pause it, reset. And then just like yesterday, then there'll be some mixed conversions where you have hours and minutes together. Okay, it's not 6 plus 42 equals 48. Because these are totally different systems. We have to kind of get them both in the same unit. So in order to change hours to minute, we can get them both in minutes. So we know that 60 minutes makes 1 hour. So that means in 6 hours, there are 360 minutes. So that's really what we changed 6 hours to. We changed it to 360, and that's minutes now. Now we can add it to our 42 minutes. So again, and then there's 10 and 4. So once we change, a lot of you yesterday were doing good with that first step. You were multiplying the times what kind of our conversion unit, which is 60, or yesterday 16, 12, or 3. Then we add it back on to our other piece. And I was telling my group, it's kind of like when you check something in long division with the multiplication. That 42 minutes is kind of like our remainder. And our whole 6 hours was 360 minutes, plus we add the other 42 minutes back on. Again, so on assessments in that box, you would then put 402. Same thing for minutes and seconds. So let's say you were doing like a math fact assignment. It took you 12 minutes and 37 seconds to finish. And you might want to know, well, how long did it actually take me? Again, I can't really add minutes and seconds together because they're in different units. So I can convert, though, minutes to seconds. Again, using my number again, both with hours and minutes and seconds today. And the important number to use is still that 60. That will convert my 12 minutes into seconds so I can add the 37 on afterwards. So again, I have a whole row of zeros because of the 0. And then 6 times 2 makes 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 720 isn't my final answer. It's what I had to change this to be able to add it to the 37. And that's the math I'm going to do next. There's 7, 5, and 7. So in my answer box, they don't want units in the answer box. It would just be the 757, and we would know that that's in seconds. Okay? And then this one is a little bit different. Days, we're going to use the number of 24. So the first thing I have to do, again, say there was a big, long kind of like, race across the country or something like that. And again, kind of like a team. It took one team 4 days and 17 hours to finish. We want to know, like, how many hours was that? So we can do 24 times 4 to get them both in the same unit of hours. 4 times 4 makes 16. 4 times 2 makes 8, plus 1 is 9. So just the 4 days itself took 96 hours. And then we had to add on the other 17 hours of that 5th day that they finished before the end of. And 7 plus 6 makes 13. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And it took them 113 hours. All right, so that's what we're going to be working on today.